Hi, welcome to the Ready, Set, Activate podcast, your home for all of your active gaming needs. Today, we're talking with someone who is a true Activate powerhouse, Mason, also known as XMBG29X. Hey, how's it going?
It's good.
Good to hear.
How about you? You good?
I'm doing really well. I'm super glad to have you on the podcast. This is really an awesome opportunity, and I'm really just ready to dive deep into the world of XMBG29X.
That's quite the name. That's just my real name.
Yeah.
That's my real name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Do you mind if I refer to you as Mason now on the podcast?
Sure. Mason's work.
Sweeto. Yeah. So for those of you guys that aren't aware, Mason is one of the top 10 players in the world. He's currently in 10th place right now. He's been playing for about as long as I have, and really talented. He's got a lot of skill. He's been playing with CrazyChris and gone to the Lily and lots of different high ranked players, but he's definitely got his own kind of pattern and skill in there, which is really awesome. And yeah, so Mason, we haven't known each other for a long time, but you've made such a big impact on the Activate community already. And what would you say is your biggest highlight in your Activate career so far?
My highlight. Okay, personally would be the very great friends I've made. The people I know,
Totally.
people I can trust. Now, on Activate itself, that would be creating videos and joining their...
Like the social media or like the
like
video
joining in
shoots
on
and
those
stuff like
videos. Yeah, that's probably
totally.
big.
Absolutely. I saw like they released the full videos for like the room recaps of 2024, and you were in a few of those, and that was pretty sweet. Specifically the climb one. I was like that one was pretty sweet. So yeah, good stuff. How did you first discover Activate? Was there a specific moment that made you decide to take it seriously and pursue the top ranks?
Okay. So the first time I've been to Activate was when it opened up in, I don't remember, like 2019, 2020, something like that. I was actually very nervous, scared for the first time going in because it just, entering it felt very intimidating. It felt like I was going to be tested or something. And then when I entered that first room, it was really fun. It was different. It was what I enjoyed as a gamer. And then I would just go back a few times every year. Nothing big until 2023. In Activate opened up locally, like extremely close to me, like 5 minutes away. I would have never gone if my dad didn't tell me to call them because I wasn't sure if solo play is allowed. And at the time, solo play was allowed. I just didn't know.
Yeah.
So he made me call. I called. They told me I could play. And that's kind of it. I just started going solo multiple times a week. And it was very exciting for me. My very first game playing solo was bought because I just thought I could crush that game solo. Because I would go with my family, and I'm like, we keep losing. It's not because of me. So, yeah, first game.
I love that. Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. Do you remember what the first game you ever played was?
Ever?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's Hide.
Hide?
Pretty positive, yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely a good first game. Again, like you were saying, a little bit intimidating, but then like you get into it, it's like, oh, this is actually pretty dope. So, yeah, no, that's awesome. And was there a specific moment that you decided to start kind of taking Activate more seriously and pursuing like the top ranks? So I know you were playing solo, but was there a certain point where you were like, okay, I'm getting good. I feel like I should start climbing up the leaderboard and kind of getting big into it?
Yeah. 2 people walked up to me. They asked if I wanted to join them, and I was like, okay, sure. And that would be Gundam and Lily.
I knew that was coming.
For the first time I played with them, I was like, oh, maybe we should play more. So we didn't talk for a while, and then we just saw each other again. It's like, hey, and then we met on Discord. Like we gave each other our Discords, and then we started going as a group more. And then that's when I was like, I can play this a lot because I am very passionate about it. And I've met really great people. So it was just positive all around.
Yeah, no, I feel like in all like the kind of like OG players like myself and you and like even like the kids and stuff, like all of it kind of started with either the Sexy and Sad Pandas or Gondam and Lily, just being
Hmm.
like, hey, like they were the first people that kind of reached out, like even to me, like when I was kind of getting good. And it was like it was really intimidating playing with them the first time because they were really good and they had all these strategies down and like everything like that. And I just remember being like, holy crap, like this is intense.
Yeah.
But just like that was kind of the point that sparked me being like, okay, like if they're this good at this, I want to get this good at this because I really love this, you know? So
Yeah.
yeah, no, it was really cool that they just reached out and yeah, connected. That's absolutely awesome. Yeah, so you being one of the top 10 in the world is incredible. What would you say was the hardest part of getting to where you are now? And yeah, what did it kind of take to just get into that elite group of players?
Well, it really came down on me when they shut down solo play. But
Mm,
physically in the games, it would be some of the top tens with like hardest games. I mean,
for
those would
sure.
be
Yeah.
challenging. Like we would go play at hopscotch. We would go there
Yeah.
for a full session. That's it, and then not win because it's
Yeah.
that hard of a game.
Yeah. Yeah. Did you
So
like
those were the
hopscotch?
I did. I actually did. Not the
Oh,
high
dude,
not the high levels.
you
Just
and
the
Cora are
regular
the only
levels.
two people that I know that actually liked that game. I didn't like that game. I actually mentioned it to Adam on the first podcast. He didn't even like the game. I'm not a big fan, but I mean, to each their own, you know, everybody kind of has their
Yeah.
special games and stuff. But yeah, no, I also get that kind of that frustration. I remember at the point where like I used to just go kind of like more casually with the friends and you know, you're beating levels and it's fun and then you're getting up and then as soon as you hit a level that you can't beat one or two times, it's like, okay, like let's go do something else. But then yeah, kind of when you start getting really good, that's when you kind of like grind stuff out and it can be a little bit frustrating, but it's also fun because you can see yourself getting closer and closer to beating these things that you never thought you'd be able to beat before. So yeah, no, I totally get that, and that's awesome. Yeah, and you're super passionate about Activate, and I can tell that by the way you talk about it. Is there anything about the game that keeps you really invested and motivated to keep improving?
Ooh, so my only investment right now would be the tournaments to practice for them and to keep my
Mm,
own personal fitness. My second
totally,
motivation for it is that I get to hang out with my friends when I go there. That's pretty much
for
it.
sure.
So
Yeah,
once you go to Activate so much, it starts to become like you know everything, and it's like, what am I doing here? Unless you're like
yeah,
going for a
yeah,
purpose. So like badges, hanging out with friends, recording a video. So those are the stuff I do there now because I know everything about
totally.
the
Yeah,
games.
yeah. I get what you're saying. Kind of like once you complete 100% of the rooms, like myself and some of the top players, it's like, yeah, you still want to go, but it's also like, okay, like we can't really work on the game. So it's either like, yeah, you're moving up your high score, you're getting the badges, or you're just going to have a good time. And I think that it's important to have a little bit of all of those. Otherwise, it just gets repetitive. But yeah, no, I totally get kind of what you're saying about that and need to kind of be more creative with how you go about it. Do you have a unique approach to the game, something that sets you apart from the other top players?
I
Maybe
do.
an under the radar strategy that you use to attribute to your success?
No, I think I'm pretty principled on theory with Activate.
Yeah.
I do it. I'm very well rounded. I can do the athletic stuff and I can do the
Mhm,
mind
mhm.
boggling stuff.
Yeah,
May- I
yeah,
I am struggling on dexterity, so like throwing balls,
yeah, yeah.
strike. No, I'm good at strike. It's just hoops. I can't throw a ball into a
Hoops
basket.
itself. Yeah, I kind of get that. Like hoops used to be like kind of a mid-range game for me. I was kind of okay at it, but like was never great. But like
Yeah.
especially lately, like with the tournament, I'm like, man, like I'm getting like really good at most games, but hoops is definitely one of my weaknesses for sure. So I totally understand that. So you'd say just kind of like the best way to go about it is just to get kind of like all around skills, just like practice different things and try to get like a balanced routine of it all.
Yeah, that's how I go about
Gotcha.
it.
So yeah, you mentioned the tournament. So in the heat of competition, especially when the stakes are high, how do you stay calm and focused?
Hmm. Okay, here. Well, talk about last year real quick. I
For
was
sure. Yeah.
a nervous wreck. I made so much mistakes. I tried before to think.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
tried breathing. I tried calming down. I just tried to calm down. I couldn't. And so that really messed me up last year. This
Hmm.
year, I looked at it more, I guess, scientifically, and I realized that the feeling of nervousness is also psychologically the same as excitement. So I tricked my brain
Hmm.
into being excited about it. And I listened to music and I got pumped up for it. And that's what really set it apart from being nervous, was being excited.
Totally. That's awesome, man. And do you want to just give a little humble brag to the podcast about where you got in the podium?
I hit third.
Yeah, so kind of like you were saying with the tournament and like just how you were nervous at first, like even the best players have setbacks. Have you ever experienced any tough moments in your Activate journey, and how did you kind of bounce back from them?
So it was my loss last year with getting fourth. I was like one life from third, and that really like set me back. I did not want to go anymore. I just didn't want to play anymore, and it took time to heal from that.
Yeah.
To bounce back,
Totally.
it takes time. It's not something you just, oh, I'm suddenly fine. It takes time to heal from big mistakes.
Yeah, you've been part of the Activate community for a little while now. How important would you say the community aspect is to you? Are there many players or groups that have helped you along the way?
Personally, no. It's just been a couple people. It's just been CrazyChris, Gondam, and Lily. That's most of my community personally.
For sure.
I haven't been with other people. But the Discord is growing so much, and I'm seeing that people are all connecting in, and I think that's really cool to see.
Speaking of people that you've been working with, I know that you've been kind of like mentored a little bit by like CrazyChris and stuff, who's currently ranked #1 in the world. How did you two connect, and what's been the most valuable advice or tips that he's shared with you?
So initially we connected through people. So Gondam and Lily introduced me to him. Mm-hmm. Now tips, mostly the physical stuff and the hoop stuff. Like he's really crazy at hoops. So he's been showing me how I should be shooting, where I should be shooting. Mm-hmm. I don't think too much that he's actually like mentored me. I feel like we could just kind of play together and then we got better together individually. How
do you balance the more competitive side of playing at Activate with kind of the more casual side of Activate? You know, like, do you think that there's some players that can learn things on both sides of the game? Kind of like, you know, taking it somewhat seriously, but not taking it so seriously that it's not fun for anyone else? Like, what would you say is kind of like the proper way to balance that? So competitive, if you're going to play at Activate competitively, you need to have a goal in mind. Why do you want to play like that at higher levels? So to think about it, you can think of it as personal fitness, just friendly competition with friends. And for the casual side, you will only really go there on the casual side just to hang out with like friends, try new games out, make mistakes, so that way you can improve at your competitive side. And it's just a balance that you should choose from one visit to the next. It should not be interlocking with each other. Totally. Yeah. No, I get that. And like something that I personally have found is like, you know, sometimes when going with certain groups, it's like the expectation is kind of like, you want to go hard, you want to work on levels. Like personally, that's kind of usually what I'd like to lean towards. But at the same time, it's kind of like, it's important to balance. Kind of like, okay, if this group is a little like more new to it, or they're not quite as into it, just taking things to different levels, definitely really important. So I totally get what you're saying there. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so looking ahead, where do you see Activate going in the next couple of years? And are there any changes or additions you'd like to see that could make the game even better? So I can't completely say because I'm not like the owner or anything, like or staff, but things I'd hope to see is more competitive structure across locations, not just in the same. It would be very cool to see like other locations being able to tackle each other. 50% off should also be more accessible. Totally. I think that's like, for me and you especially, like for audience, for you listening, me and Mason are two of the top players in the world that don't have 50% off because we were late to the party. So what kind of happened is the rank 8, so it used to be 8 ranks. Once you got to 8, you got 50% off for life, and it was obtainable. Then they switched the reward system around, and it was when you reached rank 8, which was far harder to get than it was initially, you got a $250 gift card, which is a complete ripoff. Now what happened is they have a new reward system where the ranks are much higher. Every 25,000 points, you rank up. And it's more of like an arcade style where you can kind of obtain coins, but 50% off isn't an option for that. But what happens is if you work towards all of the badges, so I think there's something like 109 of those or something like that. Once you get all the badges, that's your way to get 50% off. But it is very hard, and there's one badge that's been deemed like almost impossible. If you could create a game and activate, kind of just like a concept for either a room or like just utilizing a room in a new way, what would be a game that you would create?
Given this a lot of thought. Me and my dad
Totally.
we've talked about this, and we've never actually come up with anything that would be good. I want to see more games in press, because press personally is my favorite room. I'm thinking like a whack-a-mole, but for press, because that might be interesting. And then like reds could appear, so if you hit a red, you'll lose a life.
Yeah.
So
Almost like kind of like whack-a-hold, but a press option of it.
That's where I got my idea from.
So, okay, a little more on the personal side of things. When you're not dominating and activate, what do you like to do in your free time? And do you have any hobbies or interests on the side?
No, I'm very boring. No, I'm just I'm a frequent gamer. I play lots of games. I used to.
Totally.
An interesting game I play before was something called Apex Legends, if you know what that is.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I've heard of it for sure.
So I was top 76 in the world. Like I hit the rank.
No way.
Apex Predator. And I was like, and then I don't know what happened to it. I kind of stopped playing Apex, and I became more of a variety gamer. Another interesting thing is I sing. I like to sing.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Something I do. And one more
That's
thing
awesome.
I like chess. Yeah, that's a game though.
Nice. Good stuff. So you kind of have a background of just dominating everything you put your mind to, hey?
Yeah, if you just keep playing, you have to be passionate. You have to. That's a very important thing. You have to be passionate about it to keep playing.
Yeah. No, that's completely fair. Like I think with any skill, like even for me, that used to be like, I mean, I still do parkour quite a bit, but just like I got passionate about parkour, and then that makes you want to go at something and continue it. Or like if you're passionate about singing or something, you can get like really good at that. If somebody's passionate about art or science or like anything, like if you just really kind of focus your energy into those things that you're really passionate about, I think that's like a key way to kind of gain success in any field, specifically activate, but that can kind of carry on into anything, which is really awesome. So as someone who's a little more on the quiet side, what's something about you that people might find interesting or something that might surprise the audience?
Ooh.
It's a hard hitter, hey?
Something interesting. That's not games. Something interesting. Oh, I play hockey. That's something most people would know.
Nice.
If you
what
look
kind? Like, do you play like with your school or in like just a club league or like?
Like a city league. Like play against.
Gotcha.
Other places within the city.
Yeah. Nice. Are you guys any good?
No.
No? Oh, that's too bad.
I'm good.
What?
There
we go. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah. What position do you play?
I play center. So here's the weird thing. I could play any position. All my life, I've been playing defense. I decided to switch to forward, and then like a couple years ago, and then my coach gave me like I guess some sort of like promotion. He was like, "You should be a center." So I played center. So I play center now. But I could play any position.
Since you've made it to the top 10 at Activate, you must have learned a ton along the way. For new players who are trying to get better, what's one piece of advice that you would give them to kind of accelerate their growth into those higher ranks?
That I wish I knew before going? Let's see.
Sure, yeah.
I'm going to think of it this way. What would I wish that I knew before I started playing?
Yeah.
Don't underestimate the software delay. So when you're jumping over stuff in Megagrid, you have to kind of like land on top of it, not jump right before it hits you, because it's laggy and it will still lose you a life if it passes you.
Yeah,
even though you're over it.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
Another big thing in control specifically, since I spent a lot of time trying to beat bot, is to
Mhm.
use only your heels on the jumping pads, so you don't
For
have to move your
sure.
legs a lot
Yeah.
more. Just the
Yeah.
heels. That's
No,
two
yeah,
things.
that's a really good point there. Yeah, and like yeah, kind of just going on with that, like when it comes to like glitches and stuff like that. Do you, like is that something that frustrates you quite a bit?
Oh, for 100%. I'm just like I'm not even there, and you're losing me lives.
Yeah. For 100%. I think I'll use that one. But yeah, no, I totally get that. Like honestly, like especially when it comes to the tournament, when it matters, that's honestly one of my biggest pet peeves.
Yeah.
And yeah, no, I'm gonna do a whole episode just about kind of like glitches and stuff and how that can really just make or break a game. But
Yeah.
yeah, no. What would you say is like the most annoying glitch in your opinion?
It's consistently tiles that don't want to be pressed. So I'm jumping onto the blue tile in grid or mega grid,
Mhm.
and
Yeah,
it's just not activating. The
not
blue
triggering.
isn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the most annoying thing. It's just completely broken.
Totally. Yeah, no, I get that one for sure. That one's really bad. My all time though, just because it applies to so many rooms and just it infuriates me, is don't let go of your button. Oh my gosh, man. I hate that one so much. Because it's
Even
just
though
like
you are holding
I'm
onto it.
literally here. I'm holding onto the button.
It's because
Like
the
I am
kids,
pressing my
not
button.
the
I am
kids.
holding my button. Just like yeah. So sticky buttons or like buttons like
Yeah.
that just drive me insane.
People who start slamming the buttons for no reason.
Yeah, exactly. So let's do a quick rapid fire round. So I'll ask you some questions and you give me your first answer. So just whatever your initial response is. Sound good?
Okay, it might be very
All right, you ready?
silly, but okay, sure. Let's go.
All right. What is your favorite Activate game?
Gems. I meant to say Bullet
no,
Train,
I mean
but
that Bullet Train.
I meant to say that, but Gems is close.
Okay. Hey, well, Bullet Train. What is it about Bullet Train that you like?
It's fun. It's not physically tiring, but you do have to move, and just something about pressing the buttons in the green is very satisfying.
Gotcha. Yeah, I like that. I feel like that's a game that like everyone's first time playing, it's like, what the heck is this? I don't understand. Like, what do you mean? Like, whatever. But then it's like once you actually start to understand it, it is a really fun concept. What is your dream Activate 5-player team? So including yourself, 4 other players that you'd love to play with altogether.
First, it's going to be me, and then me, and
Just
Me?
5 Masons.
yes, of course. That is my all-time favorite 5. I had a dream about this, actually. I'm not lying.
Yeah? Oh my
Yeah, I'm not lying.
gosh. That's awesome. Did you beat Hoops?
No, we didn't play that game. We don't like that game.
Oh, that's funny. What about what's one Activate feature that you can't live without?
The replay button. I need that
The
replay button. Yes, I would not want to walk out of the
totally.
room every single game.
Oh, yeah, I
The
get
replay.
that. Speaking on that, actually, I don't know if you've kind of gotten on any of this within the Discord server and stuff, but there are some people that say like there should be an option to replay a level even if you completed it. Do you think that that's something that would be valuable, and kind of like what's your opinion on that?
Me and what's it called? My group thought about this like long time ago. We were thinking that instead of just pressing the button, you can hold it for maybe like 2 or 3 seconds. I'd say 3 seconds. You hold the button for 3 seconds and it plays the same level. That's what we came up with. Was just hold it.
Totally.
There's only one button in some games, so
Yeah.
you can't have 2 separate buttons. But holding it
For
would
sure.
be correct.
Yeah, no, like especially when you're grinding out things for badges and Easter eggs, stuff like that. Or like, yeah, no, if you just kind of want to like focus on something, play a level 10 back to back, it'd be nice to have kind of that option. What's your number one favorite change from the old reward system to the new reward system now?
That I can get a personal wristband. That's honestly it.
Oh.
So, think about that. I tried to paint my black wristband to be a red wristband because I just wanted a different color wristband. They were black. All of them were
Totally.
black.
Yeah.
Now I can just get my purple wristband. And I'm good. I'm good with that.
Yeah. No, my goal at this point is I'm trying to collect every single one of the wristbands, like the original pink, purple, and then like, you know, like the new blue ones and the navy. Like I love how they kind of brought those back, because for a while what happened is they kind of got rid of the wristbands and started using keychains, and like they were just dinky and kind of stupid. So cheap. Like, yeah, exactly. So it's like, now that they brought that back, I feel like that's really nice. And honestly, me personally, I really do like the kind of like arcade style where, like, you know, you can either spend your coins all at once on like something that's like, it's okay, but then it's like there's achievable goals like the wristband. So it's like if somebody like is a pretty casual player, but it's like if they grind a couple times, like they can get something that's more worthwhile than just being like, okay, like I got my keychain and my water bottle. Okay, now it's just like, now it's way harder to get the next thing. And I don't really have an option of what I'm spending my coins on, especially with like the new kind of like, you know, merchandise that's like limited edition, say like the purple shirt, which I'm really excited to pick up, or like the red hoodie, which I got one of as well. So yeah, no, I think that's totally fair. And like, yeah, I was gonna ask you which color you use, but you like that purple one, hey?
I do. It's very
pretty sick.
I was honestly a little disappointed with the Tournament of Champions bracelets, because they were the same color.
Yeah, I know. I was like, why didn't they make it something unique, like an orange or something, or like just something like exclusive would be cool. But,
so I was a little disappointed in that, but I like my purple wristband. So
yeah, that's fair. Well, now you got a purple one and a purple TOC one, so I mean that's pretty sick.
Yeah.
Yeah. Before we close off here, is there anything that I didn't touch base on that you'd like to talk about?
That would be ceilings, more ceiling support across Activate locations.
Yeah.
There's only one that I'm aware of, and that's Winnipeg West.
Yeah.
That has ceilings. And I just really like the overall feel of ceilings, because you're more immersed. You can hear the music actually. You can hear the game. You can hear your friends. Not hearing like children screaming.
7 different rooms. Yeah, exactly. Oh
so
man, that's really
support.
Stuff.
I think that's all though for me.
Well, yeah, no, dude, it was great to have you on the podcast. It's really cool to hear kind of like your perspective on these things, and especially like the past 2 people that I've interviewed, it's been mostly people that focus most of their time on West, so it's kind of cool to hear people from a different location and kind of like how it differs there, and yeah, just the different just strategies of each player and how they go about things. And yeah, no, everyone's got their unique style, and you've got a pretty awesome one too, man.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
You do as well.
I really appreciate it, man. All right. Well, again, thank you so much for being on the podcast. It was great to have you. Thanks for listening. Take care. Keep activated.
See ya.
You've been listening to the Ready, Set, Activate podcast. If you have any questions or thoughts, feel free to leave them in the comments down below. We love hearing from you. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you won't miss out on the next episode. Thanks for listening, and remember, keep activating.